me say a special good morning to our listeners this morning. Those of you via Classic Radio, whether it's 105.5 or 105.9, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Hope all is well. Let me say good morning to the viewers. And we may remind you, especially our social media viewers and listeners out there, don't forget our YouTube channel is back up and running. For those of you who have been calling and saying, what's up with the YouTube channel? It's back up and running, so you can go out to the usual GBN's YouTube page and view our YouTube channel, I should say, and view that. Good morning to those of you via GBN's Facebook page also. Good morning and welcome to another edition of To The Point and the viewer of GBN TV, whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11 or Channels 20. Good Friday morning to you. It's the 10th day already within the month of November 2023. Good morning once again. It's To The Point. I'm your host, GT, and I'll be with you until it's 10 a.m. this morning. It's gonna, of course, we're gonna be having an open line this morning, which means you're welcome to give me a call, 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number that you can use. You can also add it to your WhatsApp contact. Yes, send me a message via WhatsApp, and of course, let me hear from you this morning. You know, I was thinking about getting a particular topic line rolling off this morning. It's always been of concern of mine when I do hear it, and I know there are a lot of other viewers and listeners of Grenada as a whole, I would say, who are a bit concerned about that. We're talking about the recent upsurge in missing teens. Yeah, you know, as we would say locally, you know, some folks are there, you know, they runaway teens, they run away. Well, you know, the correct way of saying it, some folks would say missing teens, you know. What is really happening, or of course, is society concerned about this a whole lot in terms of what we've been hearing? You know, from time to time, we see on social media, we have the police sending out those releases, you know, pertaining to your youngsters missing and so forth. Are we concerned about that? You know, what are the main cause are we seeing for that upsurge? What are the influences coming from? I should say where the influences are coming from in youngsters wanting to do that. You know, constantly, every week is either 2 or 3 we've been hearing about in terms of youngsters. You know, as I said locally, we can say, hey, they run away. You know, so give me a call, 435-2041. Got to be one of our conversation we could certainly have this morning. What are your thoughts on that? You know, as a society, what are we of course concerned about what's happening, you know, in our beautiful Spice Isle of ours. Forgive me for having my line offline for a wee bit. Just had it engaged. I'm not sure why it got there. You know, but give me a call. You know, we've been hearing the authorities speaking about it from time to time. You know, a lot about the, you know, we heard lots from the police, the Child Protection Authority. They have been on programs here on GBN speaking about it. You know, I have numerous times we have a conversation with the police and so forth, and they're also very concerned about what's happening. Now, let's hear from you, of course, viewers and listeners out there in relation to this, and what are your take on what's happening? What can we do as a society to get a downward curve in terms of what's going on? You know, give me a call, 435-2041, 435-2041. You have various options in getting in contact with me if you want to use the WhatsApp, or you can send a message via the Facebook page, or you can give me a call, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning. It's not I deem it as our main conversation this morning, but we're open to speak about anything else that you want to bring up. If you may just feel that, hey, I don't want to talk about that, or I think I want to talk about something else that is concerning to me, but I've just given you a topic line that we could probably focus on a wee bit this morning. 435-2041. I think I see we do have our first caller. Let's see if they want to contribute to. So somehow person hang up. Anyway, 435-2041, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning here on Classic Radio GBN TV, and it's the opportunity for you to give it a call, express your views and concern. I just thought this morning it could be a conversation that we could entertain a wee bit. You know, listen, teens, what are the causes of that happening on a regular here in Grenada? And you know, for the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've been seeing, numerous youngsters, for whatever the reasons why, whatever influencing them to do whatever they're doing, in terms of, not wanting to stay at the place where they reside for various reasons, So, if you are concerned about it as of course a Grenadian, as a parent, just what are your concerns about that? Give me a call. Let's entertain the very first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Gigi. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you this morning?
We're hanging in there.
All right.
Season greetings. This season is right here again.
I will say the same to you. Good morning once again. Mm-hmm.
And we had to do our own thing on there. Okay, singing and thing.
All right. We certainly will when we.
What I want to tell you this morning, GT.
Mm-hmm.
You're not seeking the pavement things. GT, they cost me the pavement, They tell me how me all and they do the words with it. You know what it is? Me all what it is. 2 words. One certain is A, the other one certain is C. These people and them causing people on the pavement. I walking on the pavement stick. I can't walk in the drain. I have my bag hanging in my hand. The bag must have a pile of coconut which I did not see. It fall on my foot. I say, Lord, your coconut hurt my foot. She tell me how me all, what it is. So that is what you have to seek on the pavement. The pavement is very, very dangerous for people. We have to walk. They have a path long by the Glen pharmacies. There's a long trolley across that day. You could barely walk there. But I always tell them, I have my stick and I'm not walking in the drain. I need somewhere to walk. Do something with it. The government have to do something with this pavement. It's not good for people. The foreigners come and they just walk on the pavement. They want place to walk. We cannot walk in the street because the vehicles and them are dangerous. They don't look for one rush man one day, as I told you before. So please, GT, let these people and them know. They must give the pedestrian a chance to walk on the pavement, mothers and children, strangers, families. I want them a stranger come and they take out a picture. They want to get up and she from she's pavement thing. And she go up right to the people and tell them, no, you know what it is. The bad, ugly words. You can't take no pictures here because nobody can come in your country and take pictures. This is all things people must not tell people. Once one blinding me with the umbrella. I said, he said, you're blind, you can't see? No, this is things people not doing right. People have to be able to walk when they go into town. GT, do something about it. Have a blessed day.
Have a great day yourself. Have a good one. I know you've been complaining on that for eons now. It's not your first complaint. Certainly hope the authorities will fix that. It's becoming unbecoming, if I could say it in that way. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Compliments for the season.
Same to you.
Well, I really want to support Tanti here this morning. I want to tell her particularly yes, because I've been listening to Tanti for the past 2 years and more.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a real concern because I feel, something has to be done, should be done many years ago. I remember as a taxi driver in town, and on this Halifax Street, the police back in those years was very strict, very, very strict with people selling on the sidewalks. I remember that full well. And I remember also, well, maybe I should say, being a taxi driver, was involved in bus and all sorts of different things. And I look around carefully and I realize that sometime during the NNP reign, the police boys, and they were given the privilege get involved in the taxi and bus business. And I can tell you from since then, it's like hell turned upside down. Just 2 days ago, I was in town. And I observed, I know the police buses, most of them at least. And when they are on the street, the police who is on duty, he turns his back. I mean, I have no apology making this comment. I've seen that. And when the other bosses come around, he's very strict, very, very, different, a different personality entirely. Even in the taxi association, as a taxi driver, and I would realize nowadays that there are a lot of police officers who own taxis and do taxi work, especially the ships in the season. And you know what happens here? Most of these people, they tend to break prices, the taxi fares, the whatnot, etc. The life is so difficult now. I could remember again a word being used by the present opposition leader, ungovernable. You know, I've been this word has stuck in my head because that has disturbed me as a taxi driver and as a bus driver. Let me tell you something. There was an inspector of police, I think he is probably now, I don't know. I don't want to call names anyway. But he made a statement to me when I was a bus driver, and I used to park my bus outside of the fish market one evening. One evening he mentioned to me, one of these days, you'll come and meet all these buses born here. As a police officer making that statement to me, I have recorded it, I have written it down so that I will not forget. Why is the police really involving in these matters and creating this upside-down problem, the sidewalk? We are asking, please, to get serious with this sidewalk. Mr. Prime Minister, I've already called you Deacon, the Deacon Prime Minister, and I only hope that you will continue. You know, I wrote you a letter, and I have not yet had a response. And I can give the opposition leader kudos for that, because when I wrote him, yes, he did respond. And that is principle. Although I did not like much of what he has done, some of his ways, you know, the issue of the briefcase, the issue of the shrimp farm, the issue of the oil and gas and the whatnot, etc. And I thought all these things would come to fruition, and I have not seen that yet. And we have so much different talk about corruption among, you know, whatever it is. But anyway, I hope that these will change very soon.
Thank you, caller. Have a good morning. Have a good morning. 435-2041. It's an open line this morning. Feel free to give me a call, express your views and concern. I did say in the initial stage of the conversation this morning, I wish I could hear from, of course, our listeners and viewers this morning. And, you know, your take on the recent upsurge in missing teens, as we will say locally, runaway teens. You know, if you have any concerns about that yourself, you want to chime in on that this morning and share your views and concerns about it, I would certainly welcome us having that conversation. Good morning to you, caller. You're welcome.
Good morning again.
Good morning to you.
No, this is two contentions here, runaway teens and the sidewalk, but it seems as though the sidewalk is a burning issue this morning. I want to talk about it again. I am having a problem with my eyes. I need my sidewalk. And what I'm saying is that these people that are selling on the sidewalk, why are they there? If you bounce a man's car and you're wrong, the law will come down on you. Because why? You broke the law. They are breaking the law by selling on the sidewalk. And the police and the authorities is not enforcing that law. A crime is a crime. They are committing crime by selling on the sidewalk. Why aren't they removed? Why haven't they taken all the people that are selling the rum and the drugs inside of the market? Run them, because they're not paying any taxes. Take the people from the sidewalk, put them in the market, and everybody will come in the market, and as we will say colloquially, everybody will eat our food. I know back in the days when I first started working in town in 1968, you could not sell on the sidewalk. You couldn't spit on the sidewalk. You couldn't defecate on the sidewalk. The police will tell you, move along, or they'll have you by the crotch of your pants, bringing you up in the fort. Why are there things in place? Sequences put in place, and if you break those sequences, it creates anarchy. So remove these people from the sidewalk, because I have foreseen something terrible is going to happen on that sidewalk there. Not by me, but I believe something terrible violence is going to happen on that sidewalk. Mr. Minister, who is responsible, please remove these people from off of the sidewalk so everybody could use it. Remove these people from inside of the market that is selling this illegal stuff and put the people on the sidewalk into the market. And you could collect a fee. Just do that, and everything is going to be all right. I have a problem with my glasses. Almost fell out because my glasses hook up with this umbrella. The lady that is selling it by the old shoe store, she will not move. Nobody would move, and they're selling on both sides of the sidewalk. Please do something about it to help we old people. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Okay, we're on the sidewalk issue. One, if it is illegal to vend on the sidewalk, we should have some signs saying no vending here. Okay? That's the first thing. And secondly, if, as we say, it's illegal, if I'm walking on the sidewalk where the vendors are and I knock down somebody's goods, they could take me to court. Could I win or could they win in that scenario? So in other words, I could throw down their goods and I could win in court because they're not supposed to be there. So there's two issues, and I know people are going to talk about it, and I want them to bring it up. First, put signs on the sidewalk saying no vending. The government could do that. Any government could do that. And secondly, if you care to knock down somebody's tree that is vending on the sidewalk, you are right. They cannot sue you, and they cannot win because they're not supposed to be there. Let me hear people on this matters. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. Let's take a comment this morning. This time we go to the WhatsApp, and this individual is saying, good morning. As a parent and a community member, it hurts whenever the breaking news of a missing teen or child. Are these kids so unhappy that they have to run away? It's because their parents appear strict and they just don't want to be or they want to be hard-headed. Are they following straight friends? Are they following stray friends or who have no control at home? It's frightening and it's cause for concern as families, community members, and as a nation. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning. We have lost that caller, 435-2041. You can certainly give me a comment or give me a call, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning to you, sir.
I like the direction that the conversation on the sidewalks of our town is taking. I don't think there's anybody that suffered more on that sidewalk. I mean, I understand, and people do suffer. If I suffer, I get reckoned. But oh, Mr. Telesford, how I have suffered for that last 13 years on that sidewalk there. And even abused by the police for protesting. I was lifted and thrown on my back by a bunch of police thugs headed by one Douglas 6-7 days before they killed Bartholomew in St. David's at 2011 or 2012. I'm telling you, Mr. Telesford. The ribs of these umbrellas have plunged into my eyes and my gas mask, time up, all kind of thing. And the police is doing nothing because the police have been instructed. And this came from right inside there. Right inside. So we have partisan politics instructing the police of Grenada. That's what's happened there, Mr. Telesford, sir. Unfortunate. When will it end? You know the song. When will it end? Let's just see. Keep up the chat, brothers and sisters. Make your noises because we are entitled to accessibility. We entitled to that. But I want to move across a little to that issue related to the children being lost now and then and disappeared from homes and otherwise. It's an interesting subject matter which I think we have to talk about too. But listen to why we cannot participate in this conversation. When they go astray, disappear for a couple of days, then we hear the police calling upon the public to assist in identifying them where they may be and so on to inform the police. But when they reappear, the police will thank the population for the collaboration otherwise. But what else do you hear? Nothing, because they're children. You can't talk under any circumstances of the ringy-dingy they've been involved in. I'm happy to know now that we have a charge in this country for stealing children. I'm happy. So you see why we cannot participate, because the police knows what's happening and they don't inform the people. I think there's a special division of the police, whatever they call it now and so on. There are so many names, special victims unit and this and that. But it's a very serious matter. It tells you something about the quote-unquote teenagers, quote-unquote youth, well, prior to youth, teenagers of the country and the direction they're heading. But we cannot, for the protection of said children, talk about it. It's unfortunate. But I hope they have the statistics. finally, Mr. Telesford. Oh no, I lost it. Apart from that, I don't want to abuse. Have a nice weekend, Mr. Telesford.
You too, sir. Have a good one yourself.
Great.
435-2041, 435-2041. We're going to take our final call in this segment, then take a break and come right back. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Go right ahead, please.
Morning, GT. How are you today, sir?
Not too bad, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah. What I want to say is that thing from, as a senior citizen, what I look at Grenada, everything in Grenada is for 8 days. Politics with party and government is the same tree, different branch, bearing the same fruit. One going to be bigger, one will spoil, one will ripe faster, and one will not come out good. The situation with the vendors and the sidewalk, it's a very annoying situation. But way down in the 60s and 70s, these things never used to be there. One of my observations is, right now, because we have so many supermarkets and all this stuff, if these prime minister wives and the minister's wife used to have to go and shop in town, that would have never been there. This situation would have addressed a long time. So they don't have to go in this mess there, in this problem, no traffic tie-up, they're in the supermarket. So this is one of the reasons why, but it's a serious situation. They have areas people can walk and go and shop. A lot of the old mash-up buildings, take down the building, clear the spot, let them put some tents, go inside there and shop. People could walk, come and get there. But this is the situation. The ministers, the wife, or what, the children don't have to go and shop in town, supermarkets, so you will never get that remedy. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Let's take a break, folks. When we come back, we entertain more of your calls and your comments. Stay with us on To The Point.
Wow, it's Instacash Grenada. Imagine a game with no numbers to choose from, no draws to wait on, and you can play it every day, including Sunday. That's Instacash. It's fast, it's easy to play, and you win prizes instantly. Instacash. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA. Making dreams come true.
Mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Friday, the 10th day of November. Open line this morning, 435-2041. That's a number. You can call. You could also add it to your WhatsApp contacts. Let's go back to the phone line and entertain our first caller in this segment. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. The issue with the sidewalk, it's a burning issue, and I think we need to do something about it. It's dangerous to walk, especially in the town of St. George. Sometimes you have to almost get in the gutter, and folks can fall and injure themselves, and that could function as a main impediment to people really enjoying the beauty of Grenada. So I beg the folks who are responsible to do something about that. And it's not about throwing people in jail or calling them criminals and so on. It's not a matter of criminalizing the whole issue. It's what I regard as a low-hanging fruit. If we have the guts enough to do something about it, something can be done about it without getting people in trouble. And we talk about the missing kids.
Children, they come from homes and trying to get with the issues of what causing them to leave and so on. It's a huge task. It could be a huge social undertaking. The issue of the sidewalk, however, is glaring for everyone to see. And that's a low-hanging fruit if we have the guts enough to do something about it. So I wish that we will do something about it. It's becoming a significant problem, and it has been that way for many years. So please do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. We do have a comment from someone saying, I think that is a response to one of our callers saying, why should no vending signs be placed on the sidewalk when we know it's against the law? Then we should put up signs in our property saying no dumping. That's something to put into consideration there. Let's take another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Morning, GT. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Go right ahead, please.
Okay. I want to comment too on the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. It's really annoying, particularly from the entire street from Purcell go up to the end of the communal. I think this Halifax Street, they call that. Mm-hmm. You cannot pass. And Tuesday, when the tourist ship was in, there were two police standing at the traffic light. And it was a couple passing, they were tourists. The caller earlier on made mention of people looking at the scenery and our country. And the policeman had to call out and said, please use the sidewalk. So I laughed. And I said, where is the sidewalk? Where is the sidewalk? With the advent of the traffic lights coming back, it is very difficult for people to walk now on the streets. It means you have to go down into the drain and actually walk, because with the vehicles coming and the lights crossing quickly, there is no way with all these vendings you cannot walk anymore. I also want to comment as a driver as well. On Saturdays, I notice now we are losing the park over by the fish market. The vendors start going across there, so it means there is no way for parking. So we are faced with two issues. Pedestrians cannot walk properly, and secondly, our parking space is going again with vendors. So if there is a designated place on the side on Melville Street for persons to park, I think the police, instead of looking to clamp you, if you look running in to the fish market to pick up a 5-pound of fish that is already clean, allowed the driver, the sellers to remove from there and allow persons who have the legitimate right to park up in that area. So that is my comment for now. But I also want to add on the question of the disappearing of children. I think it's a situation that is developing, and it means, therefore, that the Child Welfare Protection Unit and all the bodies and agencies responsible for that should look carefully when the child has reappeared, to find out from the homeowners, the parent, that guardian, as to what is really the problem. See if the child is uncomfortable of staying home, what are the issues that may have them to be running away and spending a few days. And if it's a problem where we having delinquent young men and young women, I think it is a question whereby, it will be a burden on the state, but to avoid further delinquency when they grow older, we'll have to get somewhere to probably house them so they'll be better accommodated in their homes if the home is an issue. Because it is really a task. I know it will be a huge problem for the authorities, and but I hope all of the agencies that are involved, they can certainly, try and tap in and see what is the problem that is causing these young people to leave their homes and to go away for all these days and so forth. And I also want to thank the police for the job they're doing, and that is that they're coming back and allowing us to know exactly the person who was recovered and they're safe.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning here on To The Point. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, GT. I just joined because I'm preparing for part of something that there will be a press conference this morning on the situation in Palestine. So I joined your program late.
All right.
Anyway, my issue is about the health. I started the conversation this morning. The chief medical officer has listed the 10 illness that people die from in Grenada. and among them, heading the list is cancer, and of course followed by heart-related disease, and then diabetes followed the third one. I think, and the sentiment came through this morning that at least people acknowledge that either the way we are living or how we are doing life, to put it a different way, is not working. And people are dying maybe unnecessary. But we need to really zero in on what are the factors that are contributing. My contention is that from the time of the invasion, we have been making choices that have been going against us. I could tell you, for instance, that after the invasion, a delegation from the Department of Commerce and Agriculture Joint came to Grenada and tried to instruct the people in agriculture that they shouldn't make any effort to have our production go in here, because based on factor of production, it's too costly. So it's better to import food. And I think you can see our continuing importation of whether it's meat and vegetables and everything else. And it is contributing. It's one of the factors that are contributing. But also, and some of the callers mentioned that the exhaust from vehicles are one of the things that contributing. Many years ago, a study was done in Europe, I think in Scotland, Germany, and so on, that shows that even small particles from coming out from the diesel was causing cancer in people. But we have those things like, we breathe it, we smell it, we even probably drink the air, but we think about it as nothing. I have mentioned that even when Lou Smith used to be on to the point, from since way back when, and we don't really pay attention to that. In addition, one of the biggest the greater problem is that our love affair with insecticide, and we decide on all of these what aside. Because people spray, for instance, I have a problem with a neighbor who sprays me, religiously every day. Over time, the accumulation of these compounds in one system would lead to death. So we need to rein in on those kind of situations where we are contributing to. There's one of the speakers talk about the contribution of barbecue. These things we need to examine and try to see how we can limit it. Otherwise, we would have a sick and walking dead population very soon if we don't have it yet. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, caller. Have a good one yourself. 435-2041, 435-2041. Open line this morning here on To The Point. Feel free to give me a call, express your views, your concerns this morning. The issue of the sidewalk seems to be the dominating conversation this morning. Feel free, if you do also have a comment about it. I was kind of thinking that we could, of course, speak a bit more on the recent upsurge in the youngsters that are going missing, and but it seems like folks want to spend more time speaking on the sidewalk issue. Let's go back to the phone line. Callers, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
The sidewalk syndrome has become a nuisance to the entire country, and everybody's talking about it. I believe right now the country needs some explanation from the Prime Minister. Tell us what is happening. You are the Prime Minister. You are the head of government. Of course, the Commissioner of Police should say something. There is a secret surrounding the sidewalk syndrome, and Grenadians need to know. We voted politicians to do the work. They must do the work. We have to know. I'm not blaming the vendors because they have full authority, it seems, and they know that. I am affected badly by it. Another thing I want to talk about is the noise syndrome with regards to vehicles and even from shop places. some vehicles are passing, and I live over 100 yards from the main road. And my doors in my house tremble, my windows tremble because of this noise in vehicles. And in Victoria, there are 2 rum places. Every weekend, the whole town is under vibration. I cannot get to sleep in my house because the police give them permits to have parties. And it's all 3, 4 in the morning. By that time, all your sleep is gone. And you lose your night's sleep, and you suffer. The police, to my mind, can be blamed for that, because giving permit to people and leaving them to blast down the town is a very nasty situation for the people in the town. We need to do something. We want law. We want order in this country. I'm sick of it now. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning here on To The Point. Feel free to give me the call, express your views and concerns. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you for taking my call. I want to make a statement. Anytime you take away the word of God from a country or between the young people, you have a problem. Remember, it's the community to raise a child, a mother and a father, the godmother and the godfather, the church and the school. And when you take that away and say the child is right in everything that the child do, the child is right. You speak to the child of you abuse the child, you beat the child, you ill-treat the child, and you see the rights of the child. So what you expect the children going to do? Nobody in the community can speak to them. The teachers in the school can speak to the children. The pastor in the church and the priest in the church can speak to them. The people in the home can speak to them. What you think they're going to do? So it's the people who in charge that bring this thing in this place. And I say so, and I write it and let it go all over Grenada. And today you're beating them in the chest, because I was telling them that. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Also, have a good day yourself. Folks, we do for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we entertain more of your calls. Stay with us here on To The Point.
Have you had bought...
Mr. Mention the wing high, then you have things like manual must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. Good morning to my social media viewers and listeners also, those who via the Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning, and thanks for being with us here on To The Point. It's an open line this morning. We're going back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Telesford, I beg your indulgences for a minute.
Right ahead, please, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to remind the Minister for Social Development of the following. Mr. Telesford. The people desire fulfillment of this promise. Remember, I told you that I shall play it until the day prior to the next elections. Have a nice day, will you, Mr. Telesford, sir?
Have a good day yourself. 435-2041, 435-2041. Pretty soon we go over to the Facebook page. Just really popped it up and noticed there are lots of comments there in terms and see what some of the comments have to share this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
From all what I've heard, the word discipline means a lot. Discipline, to me, I don't know about you, is a state of the mind. If we are ill-disciplined, that means we are not well-trained. We do not have good manners. Not manners, good manners. We'll have problems. And this is what is causing the problem in Grenada, in our dear beloved country. Now you have to have discipline at home. You have to have discipline at school. In fact, you have to get it, and you have to practice it. Once you do not look at, even on the street, why these vendors are selling on the street, it is because, I want to say, perhaps they do not have discipline. If we had discipline, we would have known what to do. Discipline is a state of the mind. It goes with you wherever you go. And this is the problem in Grenada and parts of the world. Everybody has, what is it again? Something you call, that's my democratic right, that's my right. And the other man has no democratic right. I don't understand that. The people have the right to sell. They have the right to make money, but the people that walk in on the street, they have no right to be on the street. And this is what I cannot understand. Everyone knows his right, but they do not know the other man's right. This is what is bothering me. Even I'm calling you now. Anyhow, let's forget that. Thank you very much, sir, for meeting me after a long time.
Have a good morning, sir. Have a good one. 435-2041. 435-2041. There's never a dull moment in Grenada. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Telesford, good morning, and how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Mr. Telesford, on Tuesday, I was in town, and a tourist boat was in the harbor. I think it's the first for the season.
Mm-hmm.
There was this couple trying to get to where they want to go. The woman was in a motorized wheelchair, and her husband was with her. When they got the intersection by one street going Hillsborough Street and wherever, by the old general commodities, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Clueless.
There is a vendor there with 6 umbrellas over her goods. And these people trying to go down that road, but the traffic, and the gentleman said something to the vendor with the 6 umbrella over her thing, and the word she gave to him, it was a shame. So I don't know if that's how we're treating our visitors, and I don't know if something would be done, and if that will be done, it have to be done as quick as possible. I have to go to town this morning, and I'm scared. Outside is sort of wet, and there's no place to walk. The busmen cussing you, vendors cussing you, everybody cussing you. What to do? Stay home and die? What do you think people should do? Senior citizens, young people, they're having a hard time navigating in the streets. I am hopeful that something would be done before the holiday season come up. It started already, but something should be done to allow people to move freely in the town of St. George. Mr. Telesford, have a great weekend.
You have a good day yourself and a good weekend to come. Bye-bye. 435-2041. We're moving up to 16 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go back to the phone. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Telesford, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Telesford, when I listen to all of the hearing, We have one. You see this market and this vendor thing, and the amount of vendors we have been on the street now is because for the last 20-something years, all Grenada has been producing is poor and vulnerable. So that reflects in the number of people that have to be on the sidewalks round about in the town selling something because they are poor and they are vulnerable. And because they are poor and vulnerable, they have the right to be on the sidewalk. That is what we created over the last 20+ years. And we are tasked for this new administration to clean that up. Because a lot of these things that we are looking at is not natural. It is a spiritual darkness problem. When they were renovating that market, I heard a gentleman say that he was a watchman there, and a particular woman from one of the parishes came there near to midnight to enter there, and he stopped her. He asked her, well, what do you want to go there and do? She go and pray. What P-R-E-Y, maybe not P-R-A-Y. And that prayer was to tie up the place, because after that it took so long to finish the renovations of what they were doing. So this country is in spiritual darkness. A lot of the things that are happening, human cannot just do it unless there is some spiritual breakthrough. And that's where the church comes in. That is why God is calling and has been calling for years for a day of national prayer and repentance. But nobody is taking it. The church is not heeding. The government is not heeding. So this is what we are going to experience as long as we remain in spiritual darkness. Grenada has been overwhelmed with darkness and spiritual iniquity for over some number of years. And so it will take 10 a year and 4 months to clean it up. We have to go to God on our knees. We have to be repentant and ask God to forgive our sins and to deliver the country and take away the spiritual bondage and darkness that we are experiencing. A lot of these things are not natural. With the children running away, again, the internet, the things that they are encountering and what is happening, it is leading our children astray because they have no spiritual guidance. Their parents don't teach them to pray, and the United Nations give them all the rights over parents, over teachers, over every adult. So that is the condition we are living in. And except we repent and turn to God and ask God seriously and sincerely to deliver this country, Grenada is in for a lot of worse things to happen.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. 435-2041. Let's take some comments this morning before we entertain another call. And this individual via the WhatsApp is saying, GT, on the issue of rise in cancer is a great concern. However, the CMO and the Ministry of Health should have a report on this issue because a study was done in 2008 to 2012 under the Health Minister, Senator Ann Peter, Sister Andrew, and was on the community list of high level of pesticide use in agriculture. This report should be looked at, and our farmers need to re-educate themselves in techniques. Let's go back to the phone line. We lost that caller, and let me see if I can get another, of course, comment before we go back to the phone line once again. And this individual is saying, don't bash the vendors. The bank vending money, and they'd have public. Let me know. Go further with that one. Let's see if we can take another comment again. Now, from Tubal roundabout to Port Highway, sidewalk it was built, but over the years, due to resurfacing of the roads, which become leveled with the sidewalk, yet the vehicle parking on the sidewalk in areas like Grand Anse, and nothing has been done. 50 years of independence. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, GT. And how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Well, very nice. I am just asking the question because I've been listening, and I don't know, but it seems that fingers are not being pointed on your program, but it seems that physical planning should be talking to us. Physical planning should be telling us, you know, even though, well, we know how political things can get, but at least physical planning could come on and said, well, this was our recommendation. No government saw it fit to. But I'm saying the whole planning of the development of the island is left wanting. For example, there was a video going around last week where the owner of an apartment building was squaring up a DJ next door, a nightclub next door, and that seems to be another problem coming up. The nightclubs are there is one in a residential area in Hope going up there and so on. You know, so the nightclubs are coming up. We are not saying no, but maybe they should have some kind of soundproof business going on, because maybe, okay, you're living in America, your grandmother left her house for you, you ain't want to come back and live in Grenada, but you turn it into a nightclub right in a nice, quiet residential area. Nobody is saying no, nobody is troubling you, nobody is asking a question, and these things now are leading into vexation to people's spirit. So I would like to hear physical planning, even on the sidewalk issue. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. 445-2041. 10 minutes approximately left on today's program. We taking your calls. It's an open line this morning here on To The Point. And, you know, sidewalk vending seems to be the dominant concern this morning from our listeners and viewers this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
GT, how are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. Good morning.
Great. Have a good day. Now, I listening to this program, I have been listening from the beginning. You know, what is going through my mind? There's a breakdown. We have broken down very badly, socially, economically, and what is pointing to is leadership. And when you say leadership, people think you're getting at the politicians. Yeah? But I've been saying this for decades. Leadership at all levels. In the government structure, in the private sector, in the churches, leadership is the problem. If one is in a position and he cannot take a decision to make change and pursue change, then you shouldn't be there. If someone is standing in your way, someone above you is standing in your way, my thing is resign. Why can't you resign? You're going to sacrifice others because for your personal gain. I will not do it. So I'm saying we have to start from the politician, but they pose themselves as the highest degree of leadership, and they have to set better example. And it goes down the line. We can't expect children to take the lead, right? So the people at the top have to set examples, and it goes down. There is no excuse for that. So I am seeing leadership as the biggest problem in our system today. And if we get that right, we will not have this problem. Trust me.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's entertain another caller this morning. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yes, GT. Just briefly, this caller, your last caller, has been saying certain things over the years, and I don't think he's actually understand. Leadership is not about people on the top. Only leadership is all of us. What we need to teach.
Well, I think he actually did mention that, you know.
Huh?
I think he actually didn't say leadership doesn't actually mean in the political sense.
What I'm saying is that is a thread. What I'm saying that we have to encourage all of us, every one of us, to be responsible. Not just this is a colonial thing, a very colonial mind structure. We need to have everybody be responsible for the thing, even when things are not being done at the top. People at the bottom should be able to be brave and bold to say, okay, this is not right. And in the past, people who tried to get things done properly were fired. Julia Lawrence is a famous, she wasn't fired, but she was ridiculed. So many people, when they tried to do what they had to do, was punished. I mean, Mr. James Clarkson, he tried his best to remedy this thing, whether it was in Carnival time when he tried to remedy that they had this thing on the road which destroyed the Calypso, the Calypso tent. He was really cool. I mean, because we want to jump up and wave. A ghetto right society, we've been creating that successfully, unfortunately, and we have to be honest and fair to each other and say that we have contributed to the mess that is there. And we need to work together, all of us, to resolve the problem. Otherwise, we end up like Trinidad and Jamaica and them other places.
Thank you, Kola. Thank you so much also for your contribution this morning. 445-2041. Approximately 5 minutes left before we wrap today's program. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Here, GT. Morning. How are you?
Not bad at all.
All right. I just want to quickly make the point. It seems as though the sidewalk is one of the topics this morning. Well, probably not a specific topic, but people are.
It seems to be the dominant conversation this morning that we're having anyway, roadside.
Yeah. It's really a grievous issue, and I think what you should probably do, or maybe I would suggest that maybe a government ministry representative, probably from the Ministry of Health or Ministry of Social Development, should come on program and just give an explanation as to why the vendors have been left on the sidewalk, because it's a while now we have been talking to vendors on the sidewalk, and that situation still exists. So probably somebody should just come on from the government side and give an explanation. Thank you so much, sir.
I agree with you, caller. Thank you so much. Have a good day yourself. 435-2041, 435. Probably next Wednesday, probably we could have someone from the government department when we do entertain government ministers or someone representing government. Probably we could have a conversation about that. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry for coming back, but what we need, we're talking about economics and everything. The biggest problem we have is not economic, not social. The biggest problem Grenada has is a spiritual problem. And once we fix the spiritual side of life, all other sides will subdue.
All right.
Because the spirit, the man, the human is a spirit. And we have a connection. We are made in the image and likeness of God. And as long as we alienate God from our society, we push him out. I heard a woman talking recently on one of the GBN's program. She's talking about sex workers. They're talking about GLBT. Now you hear they have another organization called Planned Parenthood talking about abortion. And when we delve the society into all this godlessness, that's so we must have degradation in every aspect. So Grenada need to turn to God. Grenada need to repent and get rid of all these dictates from outside forces like the UN, the EU, and all of these organizations that want to tell us how to organize our nation. That is the problem. We need God.
All right.
God.
Thank you,
God.
caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 3 minutes before we wrap, let's take a couple of the comments. This individual via the WhatsApp is saying, GT, are we sure there's a planning department in Grenada? It's a question someone is asking. One other person is saying, we mash up estate and we're quarreling about vendors. That's another comment there this morning. Let's take another comment. One of the, this phone is a bit of a lengthy one. Let me see if I can get through it really quickly. One of the real problems with sidewalk vendors are not monitored. Individuals are coming from other islands and starting businesses on the sidewalks. Therefore, Therefore, if a census is taken and arrangements are made for them to market, for them in the market, let me get that right, more would spring up. There need to be proper monitoring of all vendors. You cannot go in any country and vend without citizens. So proper monitoring and ID and pictures should be used. Let's take a caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Well, two things. First of all, the matter of the sidewalk. I don't know why is it an issue. We have laws in our country. Why is it so difficult for the powers that be, otherwise called the authorities, to exercise their authority and rid us of this nuisance?
Is it a problem where they're going to put them? That could be one of the issues.
Well, how did they get there in the first place? How many of them were catered for at the market? Is that the same number we have now?
I guess not.
Why were more than those catered for allowed to be there in the first place? So it has to be addressed from the root, and I don't know why it's a problem, to be honest with you. The law is the law. Let's deal with the thing. Let's see how we can help who we need to help. But no, we can't. We have to read our sidewalks. I mean, we are a country of laws, and we just can't continue in this lawless manner. The other thing is the matter. I'm hearing in the news of a man who was charged with theft of a child. Mm-hmm. Is that a new crime we have in our country now? How is that different from kidnapping? No, is this an attempt to not, penalize the person to the extent? That's why they found a new definition. You ever heard of this crime before, this offense?
It's actually a first for me also.
Kidnap of a theft of a child. Can you steal people? Out of human trafficking. But I don't know if you could steal a human being. Even if the person is charged for kidnapping, let the public know that. I don't know why they're confusing us and misleading us with this new offense. None of us have ever heard. I'm almost 70 years. I've never heard of this in all my life. Right. But now suddenly I'm hearing of theft of a child.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution.
Welcome.
Have a good one.
Sure.
Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for today's program. Thanks to all who contributed to today's program. Whether you called, of course, you stayed home, you viewed, you listened. Those of you who commented by our social media platform, whether it was the Facebook page, the YouTube channels, good morning. Thank you so much. Those of you who send your messages via the WhatsApp, I want to thank you a whole lot for a great week. Program, join us again next week for another edition of To The Point. Have yourselves a great day. And, of course, be good to each other. Have yourself a good one. That's why I say goodbye.